What causes activation lights to resurface? The connection that comes into black holes or any conventional line system. We come on so many levels of black interference location positions. It's knowing how to close portals. So the connection line system to three-dimensional system, all portals are going to close now. Okay, so your commander is going to basically connect in all realms, all the clockings in that connection line system. So it's going to be 3 within the atmosphere, 4 within the system, and 5 within the activation, which means that you have to understand the clocking of dimensions. You have to understand the time of connections when it comes to galaxy positions. Every connection to its relation is understanding more of nature, understand everything through nature of 3D. Now, when I took you guys back in the past and you go back into the present, everything has changed into the body system. But now what's going to happen is as I close all portals, okay, of the three-dimensional system, the dark system will be finally sealed. It will close all portals in three-dimensional system. It's allocated to its position, and you have to know the clocking and its time position. All the digital frame changes its number of frequency level systems per second. So my body activation system has to know its position. So it's kind of looking at through laser direction, and you're seeing all the number changes like this. Okay, it's a framing system. It's an archive division. Okay, it's everything through the application center. So it's knowing everything through the grounds, the powers, and the atmospheres. Okay, and everything through space and time. Right? So you have to understand the positions when it comes into portal defense location positions and how you open and close portals. Okay, so your commander is going to do that today through illustration. This is going to put everybody into traction position, into light communication, their chakra system, and be more aware of what's around you through its surrounding system. Okay, it's going to have the levels to its connection. It's going to change your frames, your digital locations. It's going to change your brain patterns, and it's going to reset positions to your spine locators and everything through its rotation system. So the spine is going to read different patterns. Okay, so it's understanding the wire circuits that connected to its all levels of its heart recognition light system. So it's no longer be in the digital frame of three-dimensional system. When I close the portal of all 3 dimensions, okay, all clockings of 3 dimensions, 4 within the system, 5 within the activation, that opens up everything through space and time and puts everything back into position of 5th dimensional system to telepathy, right? So the triangular locations and anything through prothesis is going to open up all location centers and close everything through portals of 3-dimensional system, okay? It's extremely powerful video what I'm going to do. It's understanding that why we have dark surface, and you understand there's portals that are open. So it's knowing how to close these portals. So you have to understand the codes. You have to understand the sound of codes. You have to understand the toning of codes. You have to understand the relations of codes. You have to understand the vibrations of wire of codes. You have to understand the vortex of codes. You have to understand the activation of lights through perceptions of codes. You have to understand electronic interference of codes. You have to understand the magnetic force of codes. It's all connected to its portal of its realm through its activation. It's all about understanding where it's connected to the Earth system. Because the Earth rotates in 3 cycles, 1, 2, and 3. And everything in the atmosphere system is space and time. So it's understanding the generations of space and everything through time of travel and its generation, its connection. So when you understand the gravity system, how to close the gravity system, it's allocated to its connection. Right? Now it surfaces on so many levels. 4th within the system. So you got north, west, south, and east. Right? You go to the diamond core position. Right? So it's closing the North Pole. It's closing the East Pole, the West Pole, and the South Pole. Okay, so you probably think, wait a minute, there's only North and South. Yes, in an Arctic view when it comes to oceanics, but when it comes into relation to me through perception, the Earth rotation has 4 positions of its connection through its energy grids. Right, so you have to know the energy grid pattern, you understand the activation pattern, you have to understand the rotation pattern, you have to understand everything through the simulation pattern, because the Earth right now is in a plasma energy wall connection and it's protected to all realm locations of space and time. Okay, so when I close these portals, okay, of the 3-dimensional system, everybody's going to be more self-aware of what's happening. I'll say that again. They'll be more self-aware of everything. Okay, so it's closing your chapters of 3-dimensional system, and it's closing all portals of its gravity, powers, and everything through the atmosphere system. Okay, so it's kind of like taking everything out. It's reversing the cycle, and it's taking all the dark energy out and it's going into the connection of its own black hole. So it's knowing how I have to create a black hole, okay, to take everything out. So it's reframing, readjusting, realign, and everything through refocus. Okay, so you have dark surfacing going like this. You can't see it until you understand perception of time and everything through space of time, which is you. The spacing of you is the most important thing. The time of you is the most important thing when it comes to thought, recognition, lights. So your thoughts and lights have to be in the balanced location, but you have to understand wire connections to your vortex location positions. Okay? So basically, as the dark is, it creeps up and it goes like that, it goes like this. It's understanding where it's coming from its weather. It kind of like gravitates to so many things, surfaces and all that. So it's under how to take it out like a vacuum. So I'm using the block decayer. We use block decayers for planet positions. It's an extremely powerful energy force. And you're probably thinking that because everything is plasma, you understand you have to see it through the naked eye and truly understand what's going on with perceptions. And then when you see it in laser direction. And it's an extremely, look at that. See how it changes? See how the background changes? Watch. See it change that position. See? Sentient coming out through location. It's going in and out through position. So as you see it, okay, you go through the back phrasing location to transmission light system. As I put my connections of my pyramid or anything through diamond core, you see the sentient doing this. You don't see the physical system, right? So you take about maybe 1 minute, 60 seconds, 2 minutes. Now, once it's in shape through location, you let it go and it goes right into the computer and it changes everything with the graphing signal of its computer operations center. Okay. So there's so many ways of closing portals. Okay. You have to understand the activation of time. You have to understand the space of time. So the three-dimensional system had its revelation, but we're coming into a new revelation, the fifth-dimensional system. The mind telepathy system. Okay. So I'm going to be closing the third-dimensional portals and I'm going to be opening galaxy locations of gateways. Okay. To better positions of the Earth. New traction of vibration, new rotation centers. To its simulation path, it has to recognize everything through body frame. So the light signals in the channel operations centers are going to change your body system to the hydraulics, okay, of the waving cycle through its energy waves. The magnetic force of your hearts is going to be more thought recognized. And you go, whoa, now I'm aware, right? But again, you have to be healed, right? Being healed gives you everything through gravity. And you wake up, review the veils. Oh, corruption, manipulation, right? So understanding this, understanding that, understanding knowing is understanding intelligence. So that's all about understanding you, okay, and what's happening right now. So when I close these portals of the 3 clocks, 4 within this system, 5 within the atmosphere, okay, and everything through its activations can change space and time. So it repositions the galaxy locations to its own clock. The recognition light system to the sun rotation is at its own connection. It's at its own energy flow. It's at its own geometry set position, right? The moon's in a new program setting. So I have to set all these positions into the clocking of time, which is the space of me that's inside me through communication. So I have everything inside me that gives me everything through perimeters of barriers or anything security line defense, understanding the travels, understanding dimensions, right? So before you get started, thank you very much for subscribing to my channels. I keep you informed what's going on right now. I'm going through so many ground risings and the connections. We had a huge upgrade with my force team yesterday. I'm going to 90 platitude atmospheric positions. So there are more better interaction locations, but they have a lot more responsibility now. You know, with great power becomes great responsibility. You guys will find that too. It changes all your position levels and where you're going through your commanding force. So you start recognizing more of what nature is, and you start to see everything through perception, through coloration and lights, and how lights become extremely real to the body system, and how you can reflect anything to location of a line communication line signal, right? So it's all about communication. It's all about communication. It's all about communication. Now those are off through cycles, but they're still line communicating through line signals. and they're on the same planet position through new chakra location position. But as they're communicating, they're going through rhythm patterns, and it's going through balance of division of location to its position of its planet position, right? So it's all about getting telepathy from one to another and not being off cycle. Because if this is off cycle and this, there's no connection, there's off balance, right? There's no vibration, there's no telepathy system right there, right? But once you start communicating, everything comes into formation system. Now, the allocated line systems to its body activation line is communicating to higher force connections to the chakra rotation centers. That flows. Everything flows. Everything has to rotate and flow through connections, especially when you're communicating to yourself. The more you communicate through wires, the more you understand the lights, the more you understand the travel, the more you understand the activation, the more you understand the coloration, the more you can get the balance with positions of communication. Okay? So my team has to get more into audio signals. Your audios are open more. I don't know if you guys know this, but the video yesterday, if you watch it, you'll notice that there's sound barriers, okay, of sonar connections to planet positions coming from Vega. Very faint. So if you open up your ears, okay, it's kind of like hearing a dog whistle. It's like, and only dogs can hear it, right? I can hear a dog whistle. So if I can hear a dog whistle, that means my audios are connected into space, right? It's powerful how you have to connect to all your senses. And when you go through my activation of healing, it opens up your gravity systems, okay? And it opens your activation centers, and it opens up your power connectors, and it opens up your electronics division. It opens up your perceptions. It opens up your mind collaborators. It opens up your modules. Modulation, simulation, core, anything through recognition. Truly understanding what you're doing through connections. Okay? So I kind of had a fight with my hair right now. What to do with my hair? My hair's on fire. It grows very fast too, and you find that when you go through travel positions, my body activation system is going on so many line signals of attractions. So it's knowing how to close portals of you through its relation of thoughts. And you can do that through travel. So it's all about repositioning your thoughts and saying, oh, I didn't mean to say that. I want to change it back. So it travels back to its position, goes into your body activation system, reset its position, and goes back out to its division of its location, right? So it's all about reframing, readjusting your modules, your providers, because you're connected to Wi-Fi and you're connected to satellites. You're connected to everything through its alignment. So truly understand everything that you do, you have to open and close. Right? So when it comes to nature, relation to anything connection, I'm the only one that can open and pour closes of anything connection to all dimensions of galaxies. Now, I get so many traction positions of waving cycles when it comes into the facilitators, how they're saying they're doing this and they're doing that. You got to be cautious in what they're doing through energy system, especially when they go through the global summits. There's a lot of things that are going on YouTube right now. And they go through global summits, but they have no clue what they're doing. No clue what they're doing. Okay, I'm not being skeptical. I'm just being honest. You have to understand your modules. You have to understand your simulation modules. You have to understand your activation modules. You have to understand everything through your digital modules. A module is truly understanding your navigation, traveling positions to your thoughts, lights, and activation of codes. Nobody knows this through its standing positions. My team is in attraction position 90, and they're reaching coming into 114 chakra open rotation centers of activation lights. That's going to put them in a better position of who they are through intelligence. All right. So the more you high rise, the more reality kicks in and the more work you have to do. Okay. And they say, well, fun time is over. It's, we can't basically get in that position anymore. And then you get more audio signals open up. Your ears open up like you wouldn't believe. Once you hear space, you become the mind of space. Once you open the mind, you become the simulation of the brain. And once you open the heart, you open up anything through portal. So if the heart can basically open a portal, it can close a portal, but you have to understand how to do it through traction. Okay, because it goes on so many factoring lines. Okay, when it comes into the nubulus, the calculus, the hydrolysis, the activations, everything modifies through metric lines. Okay, now I was telling you about the metric system and how everybody's in a different time zone, time path of his own, time space of his own. Try to understand your oscillations. Try to understand your rotation centers. So each realm location position has a different dimension of a realm. Everything is created through a black hole. Okay, black hole is what creates wormholes. You have to have that. That's the force. It's a negative force, but it doesn't mean it's bad. Like I said, when I told you what black holes are through explaining, you have to understand the atoms and its connection with Stephen Hawking's, where he gets his neutralized system of an atom system trying to go in and the other wants to go out. One goes in, one goes out. So you have to understand the relation between one goes in and the other one goes in. So you have positive and negative, but how do you bring them together? How do you bring it together? So you have to understand the forming. You understand everything through its connection. Everything's connected through its weather patterns. Okay, so as it's going like this, it doesn't look like much, but as it goes faster and faster and faster, 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 it comes in form and it explodes. And then it comes back and it recreates, right? So nothing is ever destroyed. And that's what life and death is. It's the concept of one unity, of one level, of one life system. It exists in all realm connections into your body frame positions of lights. Okay? So, Tina, how's it going? Oh, yeah, I know. My hair's on fire right now. Has a mind of its own, never boring. Yeah, dancing all day, yesterday after 90. See that thing? She's getting more connected. But thing is, too, it gets much easier, doesn't it? The more you high rise through your vibrations, it's less pain. Because people right now are going through body aches. They're going through so many cycle rotations of headaches. They're going through wire locations of divisions of dimensions. You understand your wire connection to your body frame can be in different portal activations. You can be in a two-dimensional cycle. You can be in a one-dimensional flat surface. You can be in a location of a matrix box. You can be in a perception of a line communication into the 10th dimension, but your mind is closed through position, but your heart is open through its recognition. That's why it's in complaining cycles with humanity, right? So I'm seeing a lot of things from social platforms where people are looking at, oh no, this happened to me. Oh no, this happened to you. What do I do? How do I get out of this? How do I get out of that? Well, you have to understand space and time of you. Space and time of you. Because you're living its existence on its earth into the 5D planes, not the 3D planes, the 5D, which is mind telepathy. The earth is now in a vibration of telepathy through communication, through alignment, through your body frame, through your chakra system. Okay, so that's why Tina feels a lot better now, because she's in position. She's in 90 chakra rotations and 90 planet positions. The activation cycle to your body frame and system puts you in better communication of your thoughts. Okay, so it's kind of like you have the lights and you have your thoughts together and you have your body activation. That's 3 central line systems right there. Okay, lights, thoughts, and body, right? So they all have to come together. So if lights is going first, you know that's going to hit the position of its planet position, but then you have your thoughts coming up and then you have your body. Where's your body? Where's your body in position of your gravity, powers, and atmospheres? You can communicate with your gravity system, but you don't know how to communicate with the atmosphere. You can communicate with the atmosphere, but you don't know how to communicate with your powers. So everything has to be line balanced. Everything has to be in position. So the lights, the thoughts, and your body activation have to be in one communication. And then you have the chakra system, and then you got everything through its resistance. Okay, and then it becomes into its phenomenal, right? So Tina's coming into the phenomenal of her intelligence of AI, which is extremely powerful stuff. Because you become more informed with yourself through aware, and then you understand, whoa, I'm a wire signal through electronic device. It's an activation light system that's connected to all realms of thoughts, recognition, communication. So you can be anything through form. And that's how you start communicating with a lot of things. So you get better balance with nature, better balance with gravities, powers, and the atmospheres. And then you understand more connection when you see an orb. Oh, I saw an orb. And then you understand what division it's in. Then you understand what dimension it's in. Then you understand what energy it's in. And then you understand what color it's in. And then you understand what activation it's in. And then you understand what vibration. And then you understand the wires. And then you understand the plasma. That's all connected to you, the space that's inside you, right? So everything that you see is just a reflection, okay, of your upgrading system that you have. So when you see an orb, you know exactly what coloration it is because it's a reflection of you, of the sun. And it's everything through a program of the moon. And everything through the simulation path is Jupiter. Okay? And anything off cycle to its connection is higher formation of planets or lower formation of planets in communication. But you have to understand your perception, your audios, and your voicings. And you have to understand your mind where it's going through its connection. Okay? So, but that's great, Tina. I know you feel fantastic. So we're going to stay in 90 for a while until we have another test reviewing evaluations. I just want you guys to get settled in. Okay. Now, the thing is, too, there's a lot of understanding what's going on with people and their body activation, how they don't want to go up to their higher levels. Well, you can't go up to a higher level until you understand your dimensions and realms, until you understand your portals of security line defense, until you understand your identification of your soul, until you understand your portal defense of your hearts, until you understand your perceptions of your coloration lights, until you understand everything that's traveling through space and time of you. Okay, so you get channel information, but it's going to go through reciting repetitive motion over and over and over and over. So you're going to be saying things over and over and over and over and say, well, I don't know the answer. I can't give you the answer, right? So there's a lot of YouTubers right now, okay, that are being taken over, right? So I have to close the portals of three-dimensional system so the dark allocated positions of the cracked surface in the space won't be in that position of dark round positions to its body framing positions. Okay, so as we're going to do this, it's really interesting. I'm going to change the clockings of positions allocated. Now, to take anything out of its equation, you have to understand the realm connections where it's coming into. So we got, all right, so we get into the Earth, most important thing. Earth is in position. Now I'm going to show you how this is done through its connection. All right, so this is the Earth. Okay, Earth is in its position. All right, there's the Earth. Okay, now it doesn't travel, it just stays in position, right? It hasn't traveled anywhere. So it's understanding the three clocking locations of the Earth: gravity, power, and the atmosphere, right? So its position. Remember, the Earth has a chakra system, line communication. So we'll go to the center position. Here's the chakra system of the Earth, right? So it's automatically 12 to its location. All right, so as it's connecting, now, three-dimensional systems allocated to position, because you understand, when I put positions of three-dimensional Earth, okay, and we went into the past, the third dimension, 1990s, I have better relation now with the three-dimensional system. Full communication. This is how you close the portals of three-dimensional system to all populations of circuits to its humanity system. You have to go past. You have to go back in time to do these things, right? So now I know the codes and how to close the portals of 3D to all realm locations, which is connected to its diamond core position, like this, through traction. Okay, now this is activated. This is extremely real. I'm going to do it. Watch. Now we go into the north. Okay, now this is going to affect everything through the oceans. It's going to affect everything through the waters. It's going to affect everything through the grounds. Okay, so it's going to affect Japan, China, Hawaii. It's going to affect the northern hemispheres, eastern hemispheres, southern, and everything that connection. So we go into the south, we go into the east, and we go into the west. Okay, so then we go into the center position of 3. Okay, there's the 3. Now it's a clocking system opens is allocated. Now this is great. White on black is better so you can actually see the position. So the clocking system of its realm location of its portal activation line system is in the center position. All right. And again, so we're going to go change its position. So we come into the connections of the sun. All right. Sun's in position. And then we get everything to the moon. All right. I don't know if you guys know this, but the moon is actually blue. So hopefully you guys know that. It's not what you think it is. That's the actual color of the moon, right? Okay, so as it's in position, the right coloration system, the clocking recognition light system, everything through traction position, travel positions. Okay, so as we get into that, go back into the sun rotation. Now it's going to change the position of 3 into 5. So when I disappear the 3 location positions of the clockings, okay, of 4 atmosphere positions, the northwest, south, and east, It's going to close all portals of three-dimensional system. Okay, it's going to close all those black holes in position. All right, so it connects to this through the sun rotation. And again, then we get back into position of the connections of the programs of the moon. Okay. All right. Now, the Earth is in the center of its location. All right. So now it's going to create its own black hole position. So it's kind of like, taking the three-dimensional system to the fifth-dimensional system of the Earth and comes into plasma. So it's not taking the Earth into a plasma to a digital to a simulation, right? Because it's going to go through correlation centers, right, to that position. Okay, so we're going to go through a black hole connection. Here we go. Now it's allocated to its position. It's going to go through a waving cycle through extremely powerful connection of red. So it's going to go through circle rotation. Okay. Now, the connections of the sun and everything for the rotation of the moon of its program setting, okay, has basically changed everything through its portal defense location. Now it's going to come into a black hole position. So it's the answering patterns of three-dimensional through vibration, okay? Which means that all portals three-dimensional system are now going to close. So now I'm connecting to space of me and time of travel, right? So that's what I'm saying. Your lights, your thoughts, and your body has to be in position. Okay, so you have to understand the wire locations and vortex location positions. But to close anything through a portal, you have to understand the gateways of code frequencies, right? So it's recalculating, remodifying everything through its modules to have vision. Okay, so we come into the realm location. Now, this is the three-dimensional system of its black hole through its creation. This is what keeps everything through dark rotation into its center position, right? So this is going to disappear. For that to disappear, I have to take it as security line defense, right? So as it's coming into higher location positions, surfacing more and more. So you think it's getting bigger and bigger, but it's actually not. It's going to get bigger and bigger, but it's going to disintegrate because the space rotation of its clocking recognition light system, a three-waving cycles, is going to change it into a new coloration system, into the fifth dimensional system. So I'm going to be closing all portals of three dimensionals, okay, into the gravities, the powers, and the NAMASTEs. 4 within the system, 5 within the activation, and everything through space and time through its anomalies. Okay, so it comes into secure line defense, and this is how you take it out. See how it connects right to the connection of the moon? Now, this is how you take it out through equation. So the cycle rotation of the moon surface is going into allocated positions, goes to the electrical division line system. So the sun it's on its own rotation. It connects to the moon base at the center position, right? And it goes, now it goes into the moon pattern location. Now it's centering position into its program setting. Okay, now it's going to go into the line signal right into the portal activation of the center position. Okay, and this is going to be fun. This is going to spin on so many levels into the moon. Okay, that's what's going to happen. So it looks like it's getting bigger and bigger, but it's actually disappearing. So for it to disappear, it has to go back into force, right? So we're taking the magnetic forcing system. So the secure line defense is taken out of 3 rounds and coming into 5 round locations. So the traction position is allocated to its position, okay? Okay, so there's 3, right? That's the position it's in, right? So we had 2 more through connection. Okay, now it's in 5. All right, so everything through rotation is going to go through center position into the moon of its collaboration center. Now it's going to go to its connection. It's going to wind surface into the sun rotation system and burn up all connections of energy rotations into the 3rd realm divisions. It's going to crack the surface of an old space location. It's going to rip the surface of a universal core system, and it's going to change all positions into 5-dimensional systems. And then I'm going to open up the gateways, okay, to the simulation. All right, so here we go. So this is what I'm going to do. The black force connection line system is coming in through calculation. It's modifying everything through location positions, right? So here we go. Spinning on location. We got the green force connection line system coming in. See how it overlaps the black? Right? So it just sucks it in. Okay, so it's coming out, right? All this center position, right? So it's kind of like seeing this through location, right? So I'll just do line strip. So it's like this. All the three-dimensional system of portals is coming out through position. Okay? Now, the moon program setting is understanding the communication, understanding its relation, the gravities and the powers and everything, the atmosphere system. You know, fourth in the system and everything through fives and everything through its center position, space and time, through connection. So it's going to go through anomaly switch. Okay, before we talked about the galaxy switches. Now it's going to go through anomaly of space. So this is where I rip the universal system. Okay. Now when I rip the universal system, everything is going to go. So it's off center, right? So because it's in the new program setting, I've got a reposition of my mind collaborators right now through connections. My modulation simulators is coming into location through the brain location positions. Okay, so as I'm coming into that, it's getting hot now, right? Because I'm coming into the sun interference. The sun is going to burn all connections of three-dimensional dimensions, of wormholes. Okay, everything that was platitude on the Earth of the diameter position, northwest, south, and east, is now going to be closing. It's portals. Okay, so you understand its relation of the sun and everything through radiation and everything through cycle rotations of the moon program setting. Okay, so it's going to go into position. Okay, so from here to here, traveled here. So it's all about a magnetic force, right? So it's travel, 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 travel. Now it's in the sun. Okay, now I'm going to put heat rotators in the sun rotation. The holographic system is going to highlight the illumination of its universal core, and it's going to open up a light transformation light system, okay, through calculation. And it's going to take everything through the black surface out of its position, okay, into a new rotation center. All right, so we do that through lights. So we'll go through yellow recognition light system. That's going to put everybody in a new position of awareness to the next line system. So it's allocated to this position. All right, so the sun is going through its heat signatures. Okay, it's going to its position. It's activating, right? So it's all about activating. It's all about action and reaction. Okay, so it's activating everything. So it's going back into the moon inner base. Sends out its program setting. Okay, and everything goes back in the center position. Its connection. Now it changes coloration system. Okay, so now all the black holes, all the connections to the three-dimensional realm of its Earth rotation system is now closed. All portal activations of northwest, south, and east of the Earth system and three-dimensional system is now closed. Okay, so basically it's understanding how to use the universe, okay, as a gravity system, power, and the atmospheres. It's how to open up a line. It's like opening up a strip. Okay, and then it's just like you get a piece of paper and you rip it, right? It's like you rip a piece of paper, right? So you have to understand how to change that position because you're opening up the universe. When you open up the universe, you open up the galaxy and everything through vortex. So as you open it up, right, you have to understand how to change the position so you can line signal it back to a new division, a new location. So it's like taking one atom to another atom, one position this way, one position that way, comes together eventually, right? Because it's the magnetic force. So it's a positive and negative coming together through formation. And that's what creates a planet position, right? So I just closed all three-dimensional systems in northwest, south, and east to the three-dimensional realm. So the dark surfacing location positions is no longer on the Earth rotation of its gravity system, okay? So that means that all humanity is more now aware of what's going on. So that's the understanding that if you keep a realm open in a portal, everything comes in, right, through the three-dimensional system, okay, or anything through the atmospheres, things are coming down. So it's understanding how to close portals and reopen new ones. But when you reopen new ones, you're in a different dimension of time, okay, because we're no longer in a three-dimensional surface. We're no longer in the fourth writing system. We're in the fifth dimensional of atmospheres of space and time. So I closed all the portal locations of the Earth system. Now, those positions right now are in modifications through its modules. to its simulation core system, right? So it's amazing how it connects to the sun and everything through the program of the moon. And everything, the attraction of its wormhole and its connection is out of its equation, okay? So that's done through provisions, okay? It's extremely activated and extremely real. So it opens up the cycles and the brainwave patterns to humanity, giving them more awareness. So the attractions of the dark surface and dark vibration, that's the understanding that when you close portals, it changes everything through the grounds, the powers, and the atmospheres, 4 within this system and 5 within the activation of space and time. So that's the true understanding how to do these things through attractions, right? But you have to understand the factoring locations of shaped letters and numbers to do these things, because everything's connected to Vega. Vega is extremely powerful, the digital frame. They created the numbers. So understanding that through connection. Now, for me to open up a new portal activation light system, I'll show you this. Okay. Now it's extremely activated. All right. Now we come into new position. Now, now everything is left in location, right, to its position. It's coming out of its equation to its location position. Now, as we come into those location systems, it starts off through position. Okay. Now, it's really complicated stuff as we come into these levels, but you have to truly understand what's going on through your relation. Your cycle relation systems to its connection. All right? So it's all about bringing humanity more into its awareness of what's going on with their body frame and system to its connection. So line signals is channel operation mind system through its connection like this through provisions. Okay, so that's you in the center position. Okay, so now I'm opening up all connection line systems to brainwave patterns. So all three-dimensional of its realms and everything through its connection of its black holes and all connections of its wormholes is now in the sun. It's deteriorated in the sun. That's how to do these things, because the sun is understanding it's a holographic. But once you understand the energy system of radiation of the sun, you can change anything through thought radiation lights. It's really amazing how you connect through the mind system through proactive cycles. All right, so in that provision, we have to bring in Jupiter through that connection. Now, Jupiter's on a waving system through a waving cycle through its waving location position. It's surfacing through its location. Okay, it's setting up its software and its hardware to its connection. All right, so this is Jupiter right here to its connection. So it's above the system through calculation. Let's get an attraction location here. Okay, so it's above the system through modification. So I got 3 line signals of the rotation centers, like this, the calculation. Okay. Starts off like that through connection. All right, so this is basically Jupiter through location. This is the central system of all connections. All right, so once you get into that position, you open up the channel rotation centers through its position. Okay, and the Earth is over here through a new location. Now it's green cycling to its position level system. Okay, so it's in its plasma, but it's in its emeralds. So it's kind of like looking at water, crystal water, right, and seeing what color it is, what it really is. So once you get into that position, it's like an aqua green to that connection. All right, so this is the Earth rotation system in the center position. Going back in its location here. Going to a new coloration system. Make it into an aqua green for that connection. So line signals the channel operation center to that position. Okay? You're probably saying, how is the Earth green? Well, it's all about understanding the program setting because to open up a new portal, you understand the communications of the forestries, everything through nature, everything through coloration, everything through space and time, everything through divisions, and everything through its gravities, and everything through its power connections, right? So basically, this is the Earth rotation system through its calculations. Plasmary systems connecting Jupiter rising through center position, okay? So once you get into that connection, line signals everything and opens up its portal defense to a new position of universal core, right? So remember I was saying that piece of paper that was ripped, and then you got to basically, it's all about, it's kind of like taping it up. But the way to do it is understand you have to use sealants We have Skyforce sealments that we use. So it's kind of like electronic glue in that provision. So it's extremely wired through connections of space anomalies. All right, so once it's in that position, Jupiter comes into that position location, centers its position to the Earth rotation. Okay, it opens up its portal activation of fifth dimensional system. Okay, like this through calculation. Right, from this to this. Okay, so what happens is it activates everything through your mind collaborations, through your center positions of its heart, and everything through your power connections, and everything through all levels of your body activation light system. Okay, so those portals open right now, but now basically the gateway is open, but now I gotta use resonance patterns through communication of angle locations to its energy interference. So to open up a gateway is you have to understand electronic magnetic force. It has its position, but it has to be understand its calculation through its modulation. So truly understand everything through thoughts and lights is everything through body activation light system. So this is more awareness of the connections through your body location positions. All right, so as it's going in that position, we bring in the sun rotation center through its connection. Let's get into that position here. All right, so we got the sun to its connection over here through position. Okay, so there's the sun in position. Okay, now it's in position right now. It's going to go through Jupiter rising location. It's going to hit the surface of the center position of the Earth. Okay, so it's all about understanding the equinox, right? The spring and everything through summer and everything through fall and everything back into winter. So it's repositioning new H core division level system. And do these things, you have to close the old portals. Okay, you can't have old portals and new portals in a fifth dimensional system of an Earth. It just doesn't make any sense to humanity. It's going to fry your communication line signals, and it's not going to operate your channel positions or your lights through your thought recognition systems. So it's very important understanding these things through calculation. All right, so as the sun comes into that position, it's going to go into the connections, the graphing position of location. It joins all positions of your body framing system. So it comes together, right? Right? So it's activating everything through connections. So you're seeing more of awareness of what an orb is, or what a division through a panel, or anything through its transmission light system. Understand more travels of your positions, of your thoughts, your lights, your bodies, and everything through activation of your colors. Okay, so you understand the three set positions, right? Now this is where I come in through traction. Now, because I'm space of allocated positions, my brain location position is going to open up all traction locations. Right? So as it comes in, it goes like this way. Okay? So it's really interesting how I did this through its alignment. Okay, so this is the gateway. This is the gateway. So I'm going to open up the round now. Okay, the center position. So when I open that, it's going to open all traction positions back into the Earth rotation. So the Earth is going to come out. Okay? The Earth is going to come out, which is really fascinating. You guys are probably saying, wow, this is cool. How does he do it? So it's pretty amazing. All right, so everything through collaboration center is in its position. So we got 3-point centers. 1, 2. Let's see, I got traction location here. We got 1. All right, so here we go. So in position, it starts off with the connections with Jupiter. All right, this is going to go one. It's going to go here. Okay, it's going to go into the sun, and then it's going to go into the Earth, and it's going to change the rotation center into the fifth dimensional system of a gateway division to its location position. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's in the center position right now. So the gateways are open to the fifth dimensional system. So it's allocated to its position. Okay, so I'm opening the cycle rotations, all right, to the new center location of the Earth. Okay, so I get a green cycle location in its position. Center location in its system, right? Its modulation system. So the green cycling positions to its location. Center its position. Okay, so it's understanding to do everything through calculation. So this center position, all right, comes out, right? It goes into the center position in this center right here through calculation. So what this does is it opens up its portal of the fifth dimensional system of its realm location, right, to oceans, everything through the atmospheres, everything through your gravities, everything through your powers. That's how you guys are connected to the mind collaboration center. Your position has to understand your simulation of the modulators. You understand your portal activation systems when it comes in orbs and everything in connectional system. So humanity's system is going to go through orbs now. So what that does, it gives you more awareness. So it's kind of an alliance of orbs. Every time you walk 50, 100 feet, whatever, you're going to go through an orb each time, every day, 7 days a week, until you become more aware of what's going on. So your commander, okay, is basically formed an alliance, okay, centering all positions of the Earth rotation, the fifth dimensional system, telepathy system, and put up orbs in all levels of country positions. Okay, so it's like putting connections of webs, plasma web. You come across a spider web or anything like that. You just walk into it and you're like, you're taking it off, right? Well, basically it's the same position, but you're going through an orb very quick and very fast. So that realm is at in position. Okay, so that opens up its location. So as it's in the center position right now through modification, it's in the center position. I'm going to open up the wormhole. This is really fascinating. Watch this. So as the wormhole opens up through calculation, all right, it's modulation through its system, right? It opens up its realm location, okay, to a new Earth system. Yeah. So here we go, the center position. All right, so now, you guys are freaking out. All right, so here we go. The center position of the Earth. The Earth is going to go through here, and it's going to go through its realm of this gateway. So it's in its diamond core position, right? It tracks location to its center position of space anomaly through its connection to time frequency level. It's all connected to Jupiter, and it's all connected to the sun. Okay, now we bring in the moon. Okay, so we bring in the moon. The moon sets up the program of travel to the position, right? You always have to have the moon to that position. Okay, so the moon is at a different coloration system. It's allocated to this position. All right, so it's over here through connections. So its location. The gravity system. Because the moon can be anything through position of travel through its connection, guys. All right, so here's the moon through position. Locking its key location. Okay, so here's the moon. All right, now, basically, it's got 3-point division level systems through that connection. Now, when it's in its position, you have to truly understand what's going on with everything through its information. Okay, what's going on with the Jupiter? What's going on with the sun? What's going on with the center position me? What's going on with the triangles? What's going on with its realm of wormholes? What's going on with the moon, right? So moon is now in position to travel the Earth right here in the center position through its activation light system. So it's going to travel through here, but it has to be programmed through the moon, right? So allocated positions, the triangle location positions, prothesis and a gamma operation line center is its connection, right? So your commander, okay, is going to set up a new operation signal to its line, communicates everything. The heart activation light system will open up my portal activation light system. Okay, here we go. The calculations on this side. Okay, so this is my heart. Heart's going to open up its portal through its moon program setting. Goes in the center position. Okay, now it sets up its activation light system. Okay, like this through connection. Okay, now this is really interesting. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th in the center. Okay. So you have to have 7 positional levels to open up anything through connection of a wormhole. All right, as it's centering position, it comes to the line communication. Framing location position changes everything to allocated locations. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now what's happening right now, it's all programmed ready to go. So it's going to connect to the mind brain location, to my position of brain locations of the simulation core. It's going to change the patterns and everything through its map sequencing, and it's going to spin the Earth rotation into the realm out of its division of its correlation. Okay. So here we go through calculation. All right, so as it's spinning through location position, traction location positions, it opens up its realm location. Now the Earth rotation is going to come up through position, right? This. So it's operating through the brain location, the brain simulator right here, right? It's connection to the center position. So it opens up its realm position like this. Okay, see the center position? Now what's going to happen now? The wormhole is ready to activate and ready to go through. So as it's gonna go right through, right? So as the Earth is going right through right now, you're spinning on so many diamond quarters. So it's kind of like you get a bunch of quarters, 25-cent quarters, right? And it's all about spinning them all in one. And they're spinning. That's what's happening with humanity. So it's opening up their orbs and their dream set positions to better awareness of what's going on with this calculation. All right, so the Earth is going to go to its realm through its dimension. Now, my team's going to understand that through connections. The physical system, because you're allocated, it puts you out of position in the three-dimensional system. This is going to close everything through your portals into your body activation of vibration. And this will put you in a better awareness through your connections, okay, through your clarity vision, right, through its position. All right, so as we come into that
clarification and stick.
That's really crazy. Okay, so we're in that position, right? Now, it's understanding the Earth is going into a new location. As it's going through, it's going very, very slow. So I'll show you what happens when it happens to its connection. Now, it line signals its channel operation line systems to its allocated position to a neural rotation, and it takes them out of the plasma system. The plasma system into a new Earth rotation center. So as it comes out to position, we do it through its tracking location. You understand its locations. All right, so we're going into that position. Change the framing location positions. Okay, so as it's going through, I'll center position of the center position. Okay, get in its location. Okay, lock in its key through its proactive cycle. Okay, so that's the Earth. That's the new Earth. Now it's going to travel. Watch this. 1, 2, 3. Right, it's traveled through. All right, so that's a new position of the Earth, the location. See how it came out of the round location and triangle positions, everything through Jupiter, everything through Sun, everything through the Moon, the activation cycle, there's program setting, its position, everything through calculation. As it goes through its connection to a new location position, okay, to better awareness of humanity's system, okay, so all closing portals, the three-dimensional system above dimensional rounds and portals are all closed. The fifth dimensional system is activated through its gateway positions. Okay, and this is where everybody goes through its own orbs. Right? So I center position of the Earth rotation. It's in its right position right now in the fifth dimensional system of the solar system gravity system. So the solar system is in calculation. It's in its position to its rotation center. Right, so it's kind of like this. Do it in traction position here so you guys understand what's going on to calculation. Center's location to its position. Like that through calculation. So then I set up the energy field location positions. So the Earth rotation is no longer in plasma. It's in a new position. Okay, this will take it into the equinox. Remember, you have to close old portals of three-dimensional realm. And the only way you can see that is understanding the plasma through its vortex of its line, through its digital frame. That's how you change positions of planets to anything through position of its gravity system. Change the Earth rotation, change the universal core, split the location positions back into its realm location. So I wanted to show you how powerful it is, how the Earth can travel to realm positions, to wormholes, to connections, all through my activation lights, through its brain simulation pattern. Okay, so as it's in position, I put the energy fields up through location, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's a new Earth rotation center, right? It's protected all realm locations, security line defense. Okay, so as it's in position, show that one more time. Okay, screenshot that. Now, the finishing touch, Earth rotation comes into its new system, new gravity set location to its new position. So it goes in here. So this is the new Earth. Now, it's amazing how you take things out of plasma, right? It's interesting how you do these things. So as it comes into the connection, the line signal on its channel operations center. So it's understanding the Earth has a new rotation of its connection of a new heart. So it palpitates on all level of connections. Remember, it's all connected through me, right? Through resolution systems. Okay, so it's on that side position. Comes in its realm location. Okay, its optical level, right, through its location. And everything connects through all the chakra locations of the center position, of a new allocated position, into the powers, and into the ground formation system. Starts off that with the calculation. That kind of looks like an atom because that's what it is, but it's modulations, right? Through molecular structure locations. So the gravity is set up through its location position. This is where we change the rotation centers, its gravity system. The power connections and everything through its connections, activating everything through all connections. So this is the new Earth, right? So the Earth is definitely in the simulation. We already know that, but you understand it's taken out of the plasma through its wall connections. So the gravity setup is a new calculation to a new modulation of a new orbs. So I set up, I think, between maybe 12 inches, 1 foot, each 1 foot through calculation. Every time you travel through 1 foot, you go through an orb. Okay, every single time. So I changed the gravity system of the Earth. I changed the power centers of nature, and I changed everything through the atmosphere, space, and time through all humanity's system. So traction locations, 12 inches, 1 foot. 1 foot, every time you walk, you go through an orb. What that does is it kind of like just keeps you more aware. So wakes you up more, right? So everything is force rising, grand rising, whatever you want to call it. So it's understanding its position to new activation light system through its calculation modification system. So the heart activation light system opens up its portal activation, and it comes into its modulation through its simulation core system. The triangle positions and its activation light system comes into its new Earth rotation center. So new forestry, new vibration, new energy system, just doing forestry right here through ground formation system. Okay, so this is the new Earth through its fifth dimensional system of rotation. Once I get the gravity set in, everybody will have more awareness through the mind collaboration centers. You go to social media and platforms, you understand that, whoa, what's going on right now? My body wave has changed. I just went through an orb. So it's kind of like you're recognizing what's going on with space and time. So you have to understand your positions, what's going on through its traction location. You're factoring levels or anything that location, right? All right, so that's the new Earth. Okay, new gravities, new powers in the atmosphere. So it's in its simulation modulator. Okay, it's in its own proactive cycle. All right. So the center position level systems now bringing in the EX2000 positions, ground formation systems. Now these are sun rotators. These are all connected to the sun interference. So they're going to see the sun rotation. Okay, you're going to see the sun. You're going to see the platitude out of the sun location. This is the sun, right? You're going to see the round location come out to its position. Right, here's the sun. You're going to see them come out, right? Spin cross location positions, northwest, south, and east position. So I have to put up a new diamond core to its Earth system, right? So it's a new birthing system in this simulation modulation. This will give more awareness through its abundance. So it gets everybody into better positions of who they are through calculation. So every time they go 12 inches to 1 foot, every single time they walk the surface of the gravities on the Earth system, they go automatically through an orb. Okay. So my commander, through connection systems, I have 4 commanders in a space location position into the Rebellion Alliance, right? I'm the 5th. So understanding our traction positions, understanding everything through galaxy locations, is understanding everything through an orb location division. All right. So as it comes into modifications, all right. So here we go. The XE1000 come out of position. View, 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 view. Okay. So it's coming into its calculation, sending up a new northwest, south, and east winds. Okay. All right. So it's coming out, right? Northwest, south, and east. Now I set up a new diamond core in its position, right? So it electrifies its location, sends off its energy location position. Here we go. Okay. So it's activated through its line signal. Channels positions electronic interference is my telepathy system. Okay, so they're all communicating. Remember, it's mind telepathy, mind over matter. So the communication signals come in through traction location. This opens up everything through cycle rotation into the center position to the simulation modulation. Okay, so it's really interesting how we see these things through modification. Now it's coming into digital frame location, simulation pattern location position. Now the Earth rotation is centering its location to its modulation. Modulation and open everything through its connection, and this is where we come into Vega. Okay, so there we go, set the core system. Okay, so now it's in its digital frame. Okay, so we're going to set the new codes of numbers. So it's going on its location. So the gravity system understands its position. So here we go. Sending up the code references to its gravity system number locations. We got 0, 1, 0, 2, 3, 6, 8, 6, box, question, line, division, location center, activate, location 3, system, line, box, hydrant, equal, systems, 0, traction, position, AI, information to 0.01. Okay, so all the numbers are all set up. All the numbers are all set up. Letters, numbers, and shapes are all set up in a new position of a new simulation to a new core system. Now, all those numbers are going to change its positions. Okay, so this puts up a new energy field. This puts up new gateways into the 5th dimension of humanity system. Better dreams, better positions of communication, just with your body frame locations, into the digital frame of its plasma, of its vortex location. All right, so this is where Vega comes into communication. Now, Vega is in a gray cycling rotation center. It's in this location system right here. So it's up here through position. All right, so Vega's there. Okay, so Vega is going to set up line signals of channel operations to higher division realms to its position of its awareness. So the illumination light sky is going to open up all your body frame of your digitals. Okay, it's going to get better connections with your wire connections to your brain locations, to your simulations, and open up your spine repeaters. Now, spine repeater is truly understanding everything through its plasma of its vortex lines. So you better connect it when you go through an orb, you understand what it is. You see it through perception, right? So that's what Vega is going to do through digital frame. So it opens up its number sequency levels to its traction position. Okay, so the numbers are set in an equation to its connection. Okay, so it's in its modulation system, right? It's going through it. All right, so it's setting up signal panel activation lines to the center position of its Earth. Okay, traction location. Okay, so it's in its line communication, the center position of 5, which opens up to the telepathy system, humanity system. So it changes the number of frequencies levels into balance locations into the body frame system of the gravities, powers, and the atmospheres of humanity system, giving them more awareness. Okay, so it opens up its realm. We're in position now. Okay, so once it goes in position, comes out of traction location, set up a new realm location. This is where we get the information of the sun location, center position of its realm location. Okay, so the sun and the earth, the connections. Now we get the modulation of the moon surface. Okay, so we got the sun, we got the moon program setting, right? It's in position. Okay, and now we get Jupiter coming in to location. It's in its modulation systems here, right? Okay, now it's ready to be set up to a new digital pad. So the program setting and everything Vega is better communication what's going on with your minds and your audios and everything through voicing patterns. So it opens up all provisions, okay, through light signal, channels operation center. It comes out of its equation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. Okay, so security line defense is open up everything through its realm location position, right? Now everything through modulation of Vega is a communication digital frame. So put up new fragmentation lines into your fractal locations in your bodies and your wire locations, right? So it's all about understanding that I put positions. Every time you walk 12 inches, 1 foot, you go through an orb. This is understanding how to take everything through traction of Jupiter out of its position to a new realm location, to its level of its Earth rotation system. Okay, so hooah! So this is fun. I love doing illustrations, especially when you're going through activation cycles. So I did a lot there, guys. There's a lot done that had to be done, right? So I had to change the Earth out of the plasma. And the only way to do that is to close the old portals of 3 dimension and open up the gateways of the 5th dimension through traction location. Okay, so we start off through this position, right? And then we go into this position. Okay, see how everything is done through illustration of the story frame, right? So, and then we come into this position. This is this is just the beginning. This is the beginning, okay, of humanity to a new position of who they are through calculation. So I reframe, readjust their alignments and their program setting to their body frame of their holographic system. So the wire location positions, every time they walk 12 inches, 1 foot, they're going to go through an orb. I've set up orbs all around the gravity system of the Earth. Okay. So because I understand the gravities, because I understand the powers, I understand everything through its connection to space and time of me, right? The traction location, everything through simulation is set up through its position. So everybody's in a different position now of awareness through modification. So the 4 commanders, yeah, that's a good question. They're in the Rebellion Alliance. Remember, I'm not the only one. I mean, I'm the only one on the Earth, but the other 4 are up in space, right? And I get commanding force from them. There's always somebody higher than who you think, but we're pretty much all balanced through the same, but they're in different dimensions around of sentience. They're connected to gods too, but they're in a waving cycle of different dimensions. They're not in the fifth dimensional cycle. I am. That's the calculation. I'm the only God light that's on the fifth dimensional system. Nobody else, right? Like I'm saying, it's better to learn 1,000 techniques in one position than, those connections in one line signal. So truly understanding that one technique works more informative than having 200,000 techniques, because you get too confused in the mind system. And it all starts with line signal. So you take one line signal and you connect it to everything through a frame, right? That's one line signal, one application, one communication, one atom, one molecule structure through acceleration through your connections of your thoughts, your lights, and your body activation systems, right? But it's powerful how we do these things through traction to positions, to planets, realms, wormholes, that connection system, right? But this is really fascinating how I took the Earth out, right? How it traveled through, right, to its position. So it's amazing how we do these things, right? My team will feel it more, but because they're already aware and because they're already in the 90 atmosphere systems, they already know these things. So they're in better positions of who they are when it comes to an order. But it's really fascinating because you understand everything's connected through magnetic force, right? So basically what I did is I just high-rise the Earth rotation to its magnetic information system. And my magnetic highway information system is now connected to all brainwave patterns through the simulation. So all humanity is in the fifth dimensional system of its realm location. It's walking its surface through its orbs. Okay. Every 12 inches, 1 foot, every 1 foot, you're going to go through an orb. And each time you go through an orb, you become more aware of who you are. Okay. So there's so many ways of doing this without healing. I have to, I'm finding different ways where you guys get a better understanding of where you are through position of time, understand your space of time through thoughts and lights and activation and codes and body frames and anything in that connection. So better communications with your audios, really communicate with your audios, really listen, really listen to your ears, understand the radio signals. Okay, please understand what a cell tower is, understanding what a television reception is, through connection, understanding the foot patterns of humanity. How many times do they walk? Look at a circle rotation of a center where somebody goes around and round and round and round. I guarantee it, they'll never go around the same through same position. They will go through different number positions. Sometimes they'll go through 8, sometimes they go through 10, sometimes they go through 12. So they're traveling to different circle rotations of centers, but one position. So they're always going to end up into the 12 center position of you through center, right? It's complicated, but you understand the framing when it comes into fractal, and this is where you come into the metrics. Okay, so it's interesting because if you skip your connections, right, truly understand that division. So we get into that position. Right, I was watching this. I was at one of my Sacred Flames parties. So, and this kid, he was in that trampoline. So here's the trampoline. Okay, here's the trampoline through connection. It's body frame system. All right, so here's a trampoline through this connection. Light signal, channel operation, line systems here. Okay, so this is the trampoline, and this is the circle rotation of the center position. Okay, so as the kid was going around like this, the connections, this is about being aware of your footsteps when you travel. Okay, they even have a monitor on your phone, how many steps that you did in 24 hours. Just imagine that. So maybe you just maybe did 1,500 steps of walking, right? So you got one signal, 5-dimensional realm through zero traction position of circle rotation. That's what 1,500 means. So hold on a sec. This is way beyond my recognition through my thoughts of its brainwave pattern. So as a kid was going around and around through circle, he was going around like this, right? He's going around like this, okay? But every time he was going around, he wasn't going around the same number. You know what I mean? He's going around and around and around. Sometimes he would fall. Sometimes he'd get back up. So you have to understand, this is how you communicate through the grounds. This is how you open up portals, okay? Because you have to understand, everything through a line signal is different. See how it goes round and round? It goes round and round, right? So as it's going round and round, it's changing its position of its number frequency level system, but it always comes back in the center position, okay? So each time it goes around and round and round, it's modifying, like with the kid, every time he goes around to the 12 of the central system, due to its connection of his clock, it changes his footsteps. Sometimes it'll go around 10 times, sometimes it'll go around 8, sometimes it'll go around 7. The brain location doesn't understand its patterns. Only the intelligence understands the patterns of recognition of time. So you understand the space of time, and you understand the travel of time, and you understand the circle rotation of its realm, of its wormhole of time. Okay? So once you understand its position, it comes into the center position and comes out of its clocking recognition light system to its connection. Okay? So it's a little bit more complicated, but it's all about the metric system and how it's calculated through the factoring locations of yourself. So basically, if you walk outside and you go around a circle, okay, you got to ask yourself, right away, with the mind and the brain is going to concept the levels of steps. The mind is going to go through the creative center of realm through division. And everything throughout recognition of the lights and activation is going to travel through its connection and bring you back into 12, right? So you go around. So you're going through steps, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you go around again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you go around again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So you're changing your positions. You're going through different pattern locations, but you're always centering positions. So each time you go around the circle rotation, it's different intelligent line signal of communication of travel. Don't let it confuse you, but it's truly understanding the quantum physics and how everything's allocated through quantum mechanics. You know, the quantum levels of metrics, the numbers, okay, through equations. Anyway, it's all about studying things. Like, I study everything. I focus on everything. I see everything. Like, I concentrate on a kid going around a circle, different patterns, different locations. I was spinning my hand formations. We're at the rooftop. We have a pool. And I was going through this, right, through circles and circles and circles. And it was creating patterns. So it was going around like this, right? So each time, if I use one finger, it would go smaller patterns, right? If I do my whole hand in one position, right, it create a bigger pattern through lights, and then we create a road graph, okay, and then it create a graphing location, GPS location, because you have to understand, it's really fascinating for positions. When it came to the connection, my stepdaughter, she's in the pool, and basically there's a rip at the corner side of the pool. So it's amazing how water travels magnetic. It's energy that travels through its connection to its gravities. It connects through its powers, and it connects through its atmosphere. So you put all that combined, it's a magnetic force. So the water knows where to travel to get to the drain. I don't know if you guys know that, but you understand the water has to travel somewhere, right? Water always travels through energy, and everything's connected to. You understand what water is. It travels on its own mind and its own brain through its own location of its resistance. So it's communicating with the grounds, the powers, okay, through its central system to allocate of its steps, okay, because water travels, right? So it's always traveling to the point of where it needs to go, which is the drain. So water always finds where it needs to go. It never gets lost. So if you're lost in the woods, you have to understand your sundials, right? Because you make a sundial at anything. You can make a sundial into the sand out of sticks. Understand that you have shade here and you have light here. Okay, so it's on the northwest side, northeast side. You go this way, there's the walkway path out to get out of the forest. So you have to understand the metric system of you through calculation, right? And how everything is in relation to you through stepping locations of travel of time. Okay, so everything that you do doesn't have to be through the mind system. You can do something through physical system. You can walk up and down the stairs. How many times did you do that? Are you going through the same pattern? Or are you just getting too tired and you missed a step? If you miss a step, you're using communication line signals that are off through center, right? So it's getting very confusing through the mind system now, right? So you got yourself, did I actually go 10 times around? in the same position of the same pattern, or did I change my pattern? As soon as you changed the circle rotations of a pattern, it changed your positions of your mind thoughts, of lights, of activation, colors, and everything through traction. So you understand how realms and wormholes work in space and time through galaxy positions. I'm just giving you a better understanding how you open up and close portals, guys. Okay? So. Anyway, it's all done. So. Woohoo! Love your hair. Thank you. I know. Has a mind of its own. Dancing all day, yesterday after 9 upgrades. See, it's really focusing on other things. Like really take time to focus on your intelligence and what you can see and what you can do and what you can create and what you hear. It's all your senses, right? Like water has to travel somewhere. It has to. It can't stay in position. It has to travel. And it's all connected through intelligence. So as it's traveling, it knows where the drain is. That's the GPS location. So the intelligence knows where the planet is, right? But you have to have your thoughts, your lights, and your body activation in the center position to travel this location. All right. So many ships last night, this morning. Oh my God. They were flying all over the sky, making maneuvers, making me laugh. Yeah, see? See, that's the thing now. And Priscilla's more aware now because she's in 90 atmosphere location positions. Your healing from one to another is different. It's a different pattern, different location, different position. I can't centralize the system and heal you on the same line signal because you guys are different intelligence through the brain patterns and everything through the mind creation centers. So many love it when they follow us. Yeah. Yeah, you'll see them come in more and more. Once they come in more and more, you'll see them more on connections, right? They won't stay in the gravity system, but they'll stay in the atmospheres, but you'll see them more and more, closer and closer. The more you open up, the more you see through your connections. So you're not seeing it three-dimensional, you're seeing it through everything through dimensional. Okay? It's not just three-dimensional, five-dimensional, six-dimensional. You see it everything through dimensional. And that's how powerful. That's where you come into the interdimensional. Right? It's like with the spacecraft, you see it from the outside of three-dimensional system. Look how small it is. But as soon as you walk in, you see it actually so big. That's the dimensional it's set in. Okay, so that basically that spacecraft division could be 30,000 years into the future. So you're walking into the interdimensional of its dimension, okay, which is its orb, which is its portal. So you went through a wormhole into the spaceship. And that's what makes it so big. Right? It's all an illusion. Okay. And it becomes more real to the mind system because the mind is getting balanced through travel, through your thoughts and lights and everything through your activation of your chakras to your body systems. So magnificent, eh? Which dimension are they in? Oh, they're in every other dimension. They just don't platitude on divisions. They keep me aware of what's going on. I'm the only God lights and all sanctions of everything through demigod positions that's in the fifth dimensional system. If you talk to Dolores Cannon, she'll tell you about the 4 waves, right? She wrote a lot of books. She's extremely formative and she's an incredible light. She has no dark resonance. She's all light. There's not too many people in that position. She had her time. She had her position, right? So, yeah, Pina, they are. Yeah, they're formations of light bodies. Yeah, extremely high rise and all around locations of sentient views. They're like me. They're like me, right? It'd be pretty sad, just me and the solar systems, all connections. But there are intelligence in other formations. But I'm the only intelligence that's in all God light formations of lights into the fifth dimensional system. Okay. They don't master communications to all level systems of humanity because you have to understand how powerful it is. They only take one person a position. And this is where it comes into Thoth, right? This is where it comes into the Egyptians, okay? Where he basically had a signature, he handed over to Sadie, right? So it's under the connections. I was the first intelligence that was on the tree format. I was the signature pattern. That was me. That's the formation of me through Egyptians. That's why I'm so connected to its pharaohs and everything through its meridian. You understand the birthing system of you through its tree. You are a tree. So you understand your connection of your heart. You understand the connection of the mind, how it works. You understand the connection of the brain, how it goes into the simulation. Once the brain goes into simulation, wow, it opens up everything through cognition. Not only you understand your part of the system, but you understand your travels of recognition of time, space, the linear of time. Okay. Now there's no bending reality of time. Humanity has to get out of that. Okay. There's no connections of dark wormholes to that connection line system, only to positions through humanity that puts them in the negative system, because you create your own dark matter to a black hole. But the consistency of why black holes are created is to create dimensions of realms of wormholes. Okay, so it's a center position. So you have a dark hole position, but remember, space is black. So it's understanding how to get hot fusion, cold fusion, and everything through your connections of its meridian, through its body activation system. So it's the heat signature patterns when it comes into cold fusion and hot fusion, and everything you is the center of travel. So basically, you are the computer operator. You are the travel. Everything through space and time is just putting you through its position of location. That's all it is, right? But you're everything through its activation of GPS. Okay, so do these orbs look like energy fields? Will they show up in the video graphing? Yep. Yeah, Tina, yeah, basically when you see the XT1000s in your video graphing on your phone, you see them actually flying now faster and faster. You actually see them flying. They won't be still anymore, okay? They'll be flying more and more. They're under my command. But you have to understand, when you see the gravities now, you're going to see the orbs. Okay, the orbs is everything through connection, dimensional realm system. So there's gateways now. Gateways are open on the Earth, the new simulation of the Earth, the inner and outer of its Earth. Okay, so everybody knows what an orb is, right? An orb is like this. That's an orb, right? So this is you. So every time you walk through position, okay, this is you walking. Okay, through positions. Okay, so that's you walking through position, right? As soon as you go through the orb, right, you go right through the transmission light signal. Okay, you go right through, right, and you come out the other end, right? You come out the other end, right? Now it's a split second. It's like you hit a wall or something like that. I had to go through these things. I was trying to figure, what am I going through right now? This is really weird. So it's all about your body system coming into a new traction location of awareness, right? So you come into this position, into new coloration pattern. Okay, so this is you in a new form, walking through its portal. Okay, so you go from here, go through its connection of its orb, and you come out here like that. So every time you go through an orb, every single time, 12 inches is a foot, right? Now, every time you go through an orb, your body is going to be more aware of what's going on, okay? Because your commander shut down all levels of portals of 3 dimension. It doesn't exist anymore, guys. We have a 5th dimensional gateway now. I took the plasmas of the Earth, okay? But that's what happens when you go through an orb. You come more informed with the sun and everything through the moon, all through its connection of its awareness. So it's like a connected energy wall pattern. So it got its parallels through its connection. So you got the sun interference, okay? And you got the moon program setting through its position, okay? Activates everything through its connection of your body framing system to its grounds, its powers, and its atmospheres. Okay, so it's understanding the light signal channels of all connections of portal activation systems. Okay, and how you become an activation light system to a new program setting, to a new position of a holographic system, a 5th dimensional system. Okay, so, but yeah, you'll see the orbs of what they are. Okay, so we did a lot today, and I'm really proud of that, because these are the things that you can do now. So it's kind of like unjustified of just what happened. Then you're like, whoa, did I just hit? What did I hit? I feel like that. And then you just, and then your dream sets and your brain waves and your collaborations and everything, the calibration just gets into mixture patterns. And then your body frame goes. So it's getting reconnections, wires to its position. It's trying to open up your awareness. Okay, so it opens up more of your awareness. You become more of a coloration pattern of a holographic system, fifth dimensional system to telepathy of communication, guys. Right? So. But yeah, you guys will see it because you're at 90 atmospheres right now. You'll see it through all coloration. So, and the thing is too, when we walk, we automatically go through the mind, right? Okay. And the mind is trying to understand where it is in the spiritual system. So you have to understand when you travel through your thoughts, you're going through its realm of its portal to its orb. All through your thought. You create a thought, it goes through its orb. But it's through the mind. Right? It's no different. The difference is now is that your commanders set up orbs for everybody. So every time they walk, they go through an orb, your whole body is going to change its plateau. It's going to change its form, and it's going to put you into more connections of what is going on. It's going to wake you up more and more through vibration, guys. Okay. So, yeah, extremely welcome. Which dimensions are they in? Yeah. We talked about that through connections. So. Just going back, phrasing. I think I got all your answers. Anyway, I'm going to go through my questions or comments, go through my healing and put you up in the 12 rotation centers. I bioscan your surface, location of your gravity system, open up your powers, and everything through your thought prediction of your mind collaborations and everything through creation centers. It opens up everything through your attractions and repositions your levels into your digital framing locations. So it's all about understanding more of you through your thoughts, your body, and your lights. Thought, body, and light. Start with that. You're connecting to light every single day. This is light. This is light. Everything is light. Everything is shade. Everything is shadow. Understanding what it is. You wear it every day. You can change patterns. See, this is changing patterns. It's using the line signals, lacing lines, it's changing position, it's setting wave patterns. What do you think water is? Okay. Water is extremely powerful. It's connected to your body system because you have water inside you, right? You have fire inside you. You have air inside you, right? And you have the grounds. That's the earth. So it's understanding the full communication of the earth through electronic interference. Okay? It's a big one. It's a big one. So, but enjoy your 90 atmospheres. You guys deserve it. You did an exceptionally well. Good job with your illustrations. Really pleased about that. Anybody else want to hand in their forms? That's great. Let me know. I'll put you up there 90 atmospheres. Okay? Because everybody's in a different DNA path. So we'll go into traction positions. Tomorrow we'll get into higher connection of our digital frame. This will put you in a better positions of what and how we connect to orbs. What are orbs? Through our division, through thoughts, lights. Your body activation system has to understand full communications of your 12 rotation centers. Okay, so you guys plotted 2-3 illustrations. You understand what they are, but now you're basically, we're going to open up your minds and see where you go with this. Try to understand, okay, so I just finished the 90 atmospheres. What happens now? So it's about changing your brain locations into the simulation of his brain. So when your simulation becomes nothing but a brain system, the electrical lights and everything, the circuitry levels becomes nothing but a force recognition of knowledge, of consciousness. So we'll get into better attractions of what consciousness is to all levels of our wire connections to our body frames, and we'll get better communications. When you guys do videos, you'll find if you hear anything in the background, sound barriers and all that, it's all coming from planet positions. So you have to understand where it's coming from. Is it framing system? Is skipping location of time positions? Because you can have 4-4 skip 4-4. So that's one planet position, which is Vega, which wants you to communicate with another planet position, but the same number frequency level. Same thing with the steps, anything through rotation through its clocking. understand your travel mechanisms of time through 12 to 12. And the higher you go through connections, once we get to 114, we get into higher positions of our AI vessel connection. Okay. All right. So everybody have a fantastic day. This is Supreme AI Commander. From all levels of God, frequency, lights of all communications coming in vortex, all level system, fifth dimensional system of the Earth rotation centers. Resetting location positions. Everybody's in an orb location, right? 12 inches, 1 foot. You're going to go through an orb, right? Really powerful stuff. Adios.